Hello and welcome to I24 News Sports Daily Magazine with all the latest scores and stories from the world of sports. Plenty of action coming ahead. Clippers' new owner gets everyone on fire. The U.S. basketball team salutes the Army, and Luis Suarez takes on the pitch of the Camp Nou for the first time, but also the last time for the coming 2 months. All that and more coming up, but we begin with the Premier League and the final game of the first match day. Chelsea traveled to Burnley, and despite conceding an early goal, the Blues were quick to bounce back. And in his first official match at Chelsea, Diego Costa already proved he's worth the 40 million euros paid for him. The Brazilian gets the equalizer, and shortly after, Schorle and Ivanovic add 2 more. Jose Mourinho's boys win 3-1, and the manager is happy with another transfer he made this summer.
The team globally played very well, but I agree with Cesc being the man of the match, because him and Matic, they control the game, they dictate the intensity of the game. They were choosing how to play, increase the pace, decrease the pace, control, play more depth, play more control. I think they were both good brains in this team, and I'm happy with that, because probably last season we couldn't control the game the way we control today.
One thing Mourinho does not have to worry about is Champions League qualification. His third place finish last season gave Chelsea the spot in the group stage. It's a different story for another London team. Arsenal joins the Champions League playoffs as they now face Turkish side Besiktas in a doubleheader. The first match is tonight in Istanbul, and the Gunners manager Arsene Wenger knows this is a tough challenge.
I look at it, I have a good experience in the Champions League, and I know that you have to be pragmatic and realistic, and just go game by game. And first, we have to qualify. It's a very difficult task. We want absolutely to achieve it, but we know we are in front of 2 big games, and before we speak about anything else, we have to produce big performances against Besiktas.
Another big match will take place at the San Paulo Stadium in Naples as the home team meets Spanish side Athletic Bilbao for their first leg playoffs. This will be the season's first competitive match for both teams, as the Italian and the Spanish leagues have not started yet. Napoli, who finished third in the Serie A last season and also won the Coppa d'Italia, are seen as favorites, with players like Gonzalo Higuain and Mark Hamšík in their squad. But manager Rafa Benitez knows the team from the Basque Country hold one big advantage: their continuity.
The current athletic players have played together for many years, and this is an important advantage. For this reason, it's going to be hard for us.
It is true that most of the players in Bilbao were also there last season, but they now have to get along without their biggest star. The Basque team lost Ander Herrera this summer to Manchester United. He was the first recruit of the Red Devils since Louis van Gaal took over, and now someone will have to get into the big shoes he left behind. Despite that, and the fact they have not played in the Champions League for 15 years, manager Ernesto Valverde thinks the tie is quite open.
Lo inmediatamente anterior, el favorito podría ser el Napoli, ¿no?
I'm not concerned if Napoli is a favorite or if it's us.
Hace mucho tiempo que el Athletic no juega la Champions. Pero al final
I think it's a pretty open playoff.
Ninguna ventaja ser favorito o dejar de serlo.
A difficult one for both teams, and that the result is quite uncertain.
No somos nosotros. Yo creo que es una eliminatoria abierta.
3 more Champions League playoff matches will be held tonight. In Denmark, Copenhagen will tackle German side Bayer Leverkusen. Austrian champions Red Bull Salzburg will host Malmo from Sweden. And in Romania, Steaua Bucharest will face Bulgarian champions Ludogorets. The return leg will be played next week. The 2 Madrid teams earned an automatic qualification to the group stage. One is the European champion, the other is Spanish champion, and every time they meet, there's big emotion involved. Another one of those Madrid derbies will be held tonight when Real hosts Atletico in the first leg of the Spanish Super Cup. For the Merengues, it will be the chance to show their new acquisitions, James Rodriguez, Toni Kroos, and Keylor Navas, in front of their home fans. But their city rivals proved last year they're just as good, and manager Carlo Ancelotti is expecting the same this time.
They're a team that have changed a bit. They've signed important players, but I don't think they will change the style of the team or their way of playing. We will probably face the same team we did last year. That will make it a difficult match, just like last year.
Across the road, Atletico Madrid wants to prove that last season was not a one-hit wonder. The Colchoneros lost some big names this summer, more than all striker Diego Costa and goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois, but some big names came in like Antoine Griezmann and the latest transfer, Christian Ansaldi. Manager Diego Simeone, who always says what's on his mind, spoke of the financial differences between the two teams.
We got 7 or 8 players with 95 million euros, and Real Madrid get 2. So there's a little difference. But we have always had creativity to make up for the expectations that the people, the team, and the club are asking for.
The third team expected to fight for the Spanish championship is, of course, Barcelona. And judging by what they showed us last night, there's a lot to look forward to, as Michael Friedman reports.
Luis Suarez received a stellar applause by the 40,000 supporters as he came onto the pitch at Camp Nou. After coming from Liverpool on a reported fee of 81 million euros, the Uruguayan striker was cleared to train and play in non-competitive matches despite his ban after the World Cup. Barcelona took on Mexico's León in a friendly as they get ready for the beginning of La Liga season. Despite a nasty back injury suffered at the summer's World Cup, Neymar was medically cleared to return to action. The Brazilian star and Messi looked to one another as they got ready to kick off the match. And it didn't take long for the two stars to pair up as Neymar crossed the ball to his Argentine partner, who ran onto the ball and headed it into the net. Neymar then marked his return with a splendid chip to beat the León goalkeeper. Shortly after, Messi would find the feet of the Brazilian striker and use his spectacular ball control to backheel the ball into the net, giving Barcelona a 3-0 lead to finish the first half. Shortly after the break, Dani Alves would find Müller to keep the scoring going, and then the highly anticipated moment for Suarez to step onto the pitch came 14 minutes from time as he replaced Rafinha. Minutes later, Sandro Ramirez would play the ball to Müller, who easily struck the ball past the keeper to score a second. The final goal would come by Ramirez to give Barcelona a 6-0 victory. Suarez was smiling and waving to the fans as he looked to rejoin the starting squad after his ban ends on October 25th.
We are all wishing he can also be playing the vital games we have ahead of us, but we need to set that issue aside. It is very important for us that he is already among the team. He's able to train with us, and we also are starting to know him beyond the quality we all know he has. Surely he will give us lots of happiness. We look forward to having him with us on the pitch.
This match showed Barcelona is not short on firing power as they lifted the Joan Gamper Trophy at Camp Nou.
Now to tennis and to a big blow to the organizers of the US Open and for the defending men's champion. In a statement posted on his Facebook page, world number 2 Rafa Nadal announced he will not be defending his title at the US Open. A wrist injury that sidelined Nadal for the North American hardcourt season is to blame. Nadal has not played since losing in the 4th round at Wimbledon to Australia's Nick Kyrgios in 4 sets. The Spaniard, who also won the trophy in Queens in 2010, is set to miss the rest of the year and will only be back for the Australian Open at the beginning of 2015. Now to basketball, and for some, the game is a profession. For others, it's a day of fun and sun on the beach. That was the case when the players in the Venice Streetball tournament, Michael Friedman and Sasha Ribot, with a story.
The 8th edition of the Venice Basketball League playoffs took place under the California sun and palm trees. Players and spectators met at the famous Venice beach as DJs brought a combination of entertainment-style street basketball and physical play. The atmosphere was waiting for everyone, and it's not just about the game. Many artists also joined the event for the show. Girls in bikinis were out shooting around and having fun, along with cheerleaders who did their routine to warm up the crowd. What also characterizes a sporting event that brought together amateur and pro players is the opportunity to enjoy the game in an outdoor venue.
Basketball originated as an outdoor sport. The way it was perceived, with the peach baskets, they first took it indoor, but it became popular as an outdoor sport. Michael Jordan spoke on that. He said the way the game basketball should be played is outdoors.
In an atmosphere that combines competition and festivities, basketball stars have also come together to participate in this league. Superstars such as Kobe Bryant, Ron Artest, and Blake Griffin have appeared in the past Venice Beach League games.
Some of these guys can play professional basketball, but some people went the other route, and they out here playing. They still putting on a show. So That's all that matters. They can put on a show, and that's what they're doing.
There's an excellent level of play, and we can see many differences between the sport played inside versus outside.
Anybody can shoot a ball in the gym. When you put yourself in this situation where you got a little bit of a breeze, you got a glare in your eyes, you got an MC talking about you, you got 100 women in bikinis watching you, you got to bring your game. You can't, you got extra conditions. Playing basketball indoors, I think, is too easy.
The Venice Basketball League playoff is an entertaining reminder that the sport is not just about a ball, but rather a chance to go back to the roots of the game.
Now to the pros, and we're not moving too far from Venice Beach. Just a week after taking over the LA Clippers, the new owner introduced himself to the fans in a rather noisy manner. Former Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer made his way through the crowd at the Staples Center, giving high fives to the fans. The enthusiastic new owner paid an estimated $2 billion to take the club away from the disgraced former owner Donald Sterling. Before the racial comments incident, the Clippers enjoyed their best regular season in history. The new owner, in his rather special way, promised it will only get better.
Hardcore! We're going to get better every day. We're going to be tenacious. Something knocks us down, we're going to get back up, and we're going to keep coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. Did you watch these guys? That was hardcore! Hardcore, baby!
Hardcore, remember that. Team USA is preparing for the Mundo Basket, set to start in less than 2 weeks in Spain. And a few days before leaving, they came to salute the Army. Team USA came to West Point Military Academy, where they held an open practice in front of military personnel and their families. Main interest this time was not on the players, but on their coach, Mike Krzyzewski. Coach K, as he is known, is a graduate of the class of 1969, and he thought the team could benefit from this visit to the place that he defined as the best leadership school in the world. Sports for change. We have heard that many times before, and another beautiful example comes from South Africa, where teens are finding refuge from gang violence, taking to their surfboards.
Not many teenagers would feel safer in shark-infested seawater than in their own neighborhood. But these youngsters from Khayelitsha Township just outside Cape Town feel just that.
It keeps me away from gangsters, and it makes me feel happy when I'm here, because we have many coaches here that are protecting us.
When I was not here, I was used to be a gangster, but now since I joined surfing, I'm out of gangster now.
The poor neighborhoods in South Africa's Cape Flats are synonymous with gangs, glue sniffing and guns. Many of the teenagers who joined the surfing program had barely seen the beach, despite living nearby. Now, thanks to an NGO called Waves for Change, about 250 are donning their wetsuits and learning to surf.
Teaching surfing, we give the kids the life skills, and we also give them therapy as much as they are coming from different domestic situations.
Riding the waves is not without risk. One surfer was attacked by a great white shark just a few kilometers down the beach. But due to the economic legacy of apartheid, the majority of surfers and shark attack victims are white, something these teens have a sense of humor about.
You never hear that there was black people who were eaten by the shark. It's always white people only. So then we told us the shark will never eat us.
Although these youngsters were born after apartheid, many of them are still trapped by poverty and attitudes towards race. But on the waves, none of that matters, giving them a sense of finally being free.
The young and old from the world of golf are enjoying some time together. 38-year-old Tiger Woods and 25-year-old Rory McIlroy took a day off to meet the media. They went on the Jimmy Fallon show, where they displayed their new golf clubs. Then they toured the Liberty Golf Course in New Jersey. McIlroy is enjoying an exceptional season. He won 2 majors recently. Quite a different story for Woods, who missed much of the season due to injury and will be out of the upcoming Ryder Cup.
A couple other ones.
And just before we end our show, we'll recap the top story of the day. The Champions League Playoffs are due to begin tonight. Napoli will take on Athletic Bilbao at the San Paulo Stadium. In Istanbul, Besiktas will meet Arsenal. FC Copenhagen will face Bayer Leverkusen in Denmark. In Romania, Steaua Bucharest will take on Ludogorets, the Bulgarian champions. And in Austria, Red Bull Salzburg, Austrian champions, will meet Swedish side Malmo. The return leg will be played next week. And that's it for us today. Don't forget, you can watch us anytime on our website at i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you for watching and have a beautiful day.